Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about the differences between AWS Cloudtrail and Amazon Cloudwatch. So first of all, let's start by talking about the similarities between the two services. Both of them start with cloud, right? We know that. So it's kind of confusing because it's Cloudwatch and Cloudtrail. But they also both provide logging capability, right? You can log with Cloudwatch and you can log with Cloudtrail. And I think this is where people are confused. This is what makes people confused because they both have logs. So which one is for what? Let's start with Cloudtrail. Cloudtrail is concerned mainly with who did what on AWS. Right? It's concerned with people within your account, like users or services within your account. Cloudtrail is a service that enables governance, compliance, operational auditing, and risk auditing on your AWS account. Let's say that everything the users on your account do on AWS is logged, right? So let's say that someone logs into your AWS console, then the time they logged in will be logged on Cloudtrail, right? Not only that, it will also tell you the IP address they used to log into the console. If someone says, I'm out of town, I'm going to work, from my computer, you can see that maybe they're not out of town because you have their IP address visible in Cloudtrail. One of your users shut down your EC2 instance, right? They cannot deny that they didn't terminate it because everything is logged. You can see that these things are helpful in auditing what happened in your account, what happened to your resources. One of the cool features about Cloudtrail is that you can centralize all the logs across regions, and not only that, you can centralize logs across many accounts that you control. Everything that you do on AWS at the account level, like you log into the AWS console, you launch EC2 instances, you delete a bucket, everything can be logged with Cloudtrail. So Cloudtrail logs activities of users and services on your account. So this is my Cloudtrail dashboard. And as you can see, I can see the recent events in here, right? I can see events going back up to 90 days. And if I click on view all events, let's see what we see here. I can see that, there's something called event time, username, and event name, right? Now all of these look very similar. Describe stream, but what these things are? They are logs of what happened in my account, right? So looks like a user called AWS Lambda described a stream, right? Now if I click on filter and filter by username, what if I filter by the root user, right? I can see that the root user at 12:56 p.m. did this, described instances, right? Or instance credit specifications, described alarms, but then you can also see all the things that this user did, which is the root user of this account. And he described the tags, he described the instances, he terminated the instances. Now this is an event that I'm interested in. Let's say that I want to see who terminated my EC2 instances. The root user did that. He terminated the resource name, this instance, with an ID of this. Now I can also go down and I can see other things that the root user did. All the same, all in June 27th, right? I can also check for my user. One of my user is named Kiran, so I'm gonna type in his name and see what he did. Looks like he logged into the console at 10:03 p.m. That was on 18th of June, right? So I can see that he hasn't used this account recently. It's been about 10 days since the user last logged in. So I can view things like this. I can see that he performed all these things, and just by looking at this I can see that he does not log into the account very much, because on the 18th he only performed 2 tasks and it was just logins, and the 17th it was a little bit more tasks. So you can see that, I can see that he authorized security group ingress, at this time, right? I can see that he described security groups. Now let me, filter by something else, right? Let me filter by event name. Let me filter, let's say that I want to see who terminated my instances. So let me do this. Let me go all the way down to terminate instances. Now I can see all the terminate instances API calls that have been made on my account. Now I'm the root account here, so I'm fine with all these events. But then I can see that someone else has been terminating my account, right? Auto scaling. But that's fine, because auto scaling means that, I had an auto scaling group going on. So this time auto scaling terminated the account, right? Now if I expand one of the events where the root user terminated my EC2 instance, one of my EC2 instance, I can just click on the expand button. Then I'll see, the access key that was used, things like the region, event ID, but, also the source IP address, right? Where did the user execute this terminate instance call from? So the source IP is this, which means that the user performed the action from this IP address. So this could be his home or office. I could check the previous records and see, if this is the same IP. Maybe I've told him not to, execute things from outside his, house or our office or something like that. So, I can also check for compliance by checking for things like source IP. Now, if I expand for example, the auto scaling, right? Auto scaling event. If I click on it, then you'll see that there will be no IP, because the source is, Amazon AWS.com, or, it was one of the services. So there's not going to be an IP address. So as you can see, we can expand the events a little bit and see a little bit more details as well. So as you can see, what I get from Cloudtrail is at what time, what user did what, right? At this time, the root user terminated the EC2 instance. And sometimes I can even see the resource name and resource type. So this is what Cloudtrail does. And really quickly, I want to show you that if I go to my trail, I can set up my trail to go to S3 bucket. I could centralized my logging from all the regions to one bucket. Whatever we saw in here. So this is the Cloudtrail logs, right? So this is the Cloudtrail logs. Now let's move on to Cloudwatch. Cloudwatch mainly is concerned with what's happening with AWS resources right now in my account, so that you can respond to it, right? Cloudwatch has metrics and alarms. Cloudwatch also has logs, right? And Cloudwatch also has something called Cloudwatch events. Let's quickly go to the Cloudwatch dashboard and see what Cloudwatch has to offer. So this is my Cloudwatch console. Let me quickly summarize what you get with Cloudwatch. With Cloudwatch, you can create something called alarm. You can monitor things, and you can set an alarm when something happens, right? You can also have metrics, not just the default metrics, but also custom metrics. Now, what do I mean by metrics? If I go to my EC2 dashboard, and you must have worked with Amazon EC2. If I click on one of my EC2 instance, right, this one, if I go to the monitoring tab and if I bring this up, I can see what's happening with my EC2 instance real time, right? I can see that the CPU utilization is somewhere around 20%, right? Since last hour, I can see that network packets are like 1,000. They're consistent. I can see network in and all these things. One thing you might have noticed, I don't see memory utilization. Now that's what I meant when I said you can do custom metric. These are the metrics I get, but then I can also have a custom metric to monitor my memory utilization of EC2. And in fact, I have a video where I show you how to measure the memory utilization of EC2. I'm going to be linking that in the description below. I'm going to go to my Lambda function, and I showed you an example of Cloudwatch for EC2. Now there's also Cloudwatch for Lambda function, right? Cloudwatch is integrated with many services, so you can also monitor your Lambda function with Cloudwatch, right? And I can say last 7 days, I can see how many times this function was invoked. Only 2 times, so this is not a popular function. I can see the duration, the errors, and all that, all those things. Now I know that this one is a popular one, so I can see that it's being invoked 30 times and there are no errors, right? Because I would be in trouble if this was in error, because this is in production right now. So I can see that everything is good over here. So I'm okay. I should not make any changes. Now when I see errors in here, then I see that something is wrong and I need to make some changes, right? So this is how you can monitor your Lambda function with, once again, this is Cloudwatch, right? Cloudwatch metrics at a glance. So, but that's metrics, right? Now let's come to logs. I think this is where everything is confusing, right? With Cloudwatch logs, you can send application logs, for example, your web server logs, to Cloudwatch so that you can see what's happening with your web server, like who is coming into your web server and things like that. You can also use Cloudwatch logs to monitor or log your Lambda function, and I think that's one of the coolest use case of Cloudwatch logs. So I'm going to quickly go to my Lambda function logs. So this is what my logs look like. If I click on one event, I can see, this is one of the executions of Lambda function, and I can see that these things happened, right? So I printed something, so this is the print statement, and these things happened. I can also see sometimes if if the Lambda function failed, it will give me an error, things like that. So Cloudwatch logs, you can use Cloudwatch logs to log your application, right? You can send your application logs to Cloudwatch. To summarize, Cloudtrail is concerned with who did what on your account, right? Who terminated your EC2 instances, right? Cloudwatch is concerned with what's happening to your EC2 instances. What's the CPU utilization? What's the memory utilization, right? Going back, Cloudwatch is concerned with what's happening in your AWS resources, what's happening with your AWS resources. Cloudtrail is concerned with who did what on your AWS account, right? So I hope that clears everything. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comment section. If you like this video, please press that like button and subscribe to my channel. I also have some Udemy courses. You're free to check them out. I'm gonna link those courses in the description. If you browse through my channels, you'll see some free Udemy course coupons floating around, so you're happy to you're welcome to do that as well if you want. I'm going to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.